Is this SPM? Nope. This is It's Pablo Time, an actor that resembles SPM in a remarkable fashion. This is him playing SPM at a concert sponsored by Dope House. This is not SPM.
Buenos dias, Gunners Collective TV. Back at it, you already know. Like a torta with some bad habits. Bye, bye. This is a very good one. Let's get to the intro. Welcome back to the channel. And if you haven't already hit that like and subscribe button, make sure you go ahead and do that. Put your notification bell on all so that way you're directing the direction of the dope content that the gun stays kicking. And I appreciate the support, man. I'm very humbled by it. So, man, there's a lot that continues to go on concerning Goldtoes and his battle, the verses. You know what I'm saying? This ain't Bone Thugs and Harmony versus, you know what I'm saying? Whoever the fuck. This is not Cameron and the Dipset versus fucking, you know, Jadakiss and them. This is some real life shit. This is Goldtoes versus the Nortenos from Sacramento, unfortunately. And it's crazy to even say that and how it even got here. But there is a timeline. There's a timeline that we must follow and figure out just what this beef is between Goldtoes and this brother known as Big Fats, also known as BFD, the rapper, an alleged Norteno of status, man, that has influence in the game right now, that was a lifer, that did time, that got out and got right into the music, thick into the music game. In fact, if I recall, he was down there fucking with and functioning with GT Digital out there in Houston with Goldtoes, right? So where's this discrepancy? Where's this beef? What does this beef stem from? Now, a lot of people have been saying that if you watch BFD and the No Paperwork podcast, what he is a part of, and his little Instagram posts, you can see there's some type of animosity, some underlying hatred for Goldtoes. And what is it? It's been all over the place as far as the reasonings why. And the newest reason is because allegedly Goldtoes was seen hanging out with SPM. Now, we all know SPM was given 40 plus years for being a weirdo. Look, I don't support SPM in any form or fashion. Those that have watched my channel for years understand and know that I have never been an advocate for SPM at all. Period, plain and simple. I know there's a lot of people say, but the mother said this, but the mother said that, but fuck that. The judge said guilty. That's all I need to know. He's a convicted toucher of children, and he needs to be exactly where he's at. And for those that support him and they wiggy, well, fucking wiggy up out of here. That's it. Because you're not going to get no love on this channel for supporting that clown, right? That's just that. Now, it has been alleged that Goldtoes has some type of relationship or friendship with SPM. And I can tell you, they do have a history. And unfortunately, man, for Goldtoes, man, that history is always going to taint the rock that he lays his head on because of the actions and the results of being around SPM at any point in time. And what he did is always going to make the people that rocked around him look some type of way. But at the end of the day, you need to judge every man by his actions and by what he does. If you have a family member that catches a bad case and is a weirdo, does that mean that fucks your whole career off? Does that mean that you are just what he is? No, that means you got a family member that's fucked up and you got to get at him at all motherfucking any way that you can with these, right? For those of you that don't know, this guy BFD has brought this up, a thing of the past, and saying that the relationship between Goldtoes and SPM is the reasoning why he does not care for Goldtoes, is the reasoning why he's feeling some type of way about Goldtoes. But let's hit the timeline real quick. Let's hit the timeline on BFD, man. And again, respects to everyone's name I mentioned in this video except for SPM, right? Because I don't want people to misconstrue it as me hating one side or picking one side over the other. I'm not doing that. What's right is right. What's real is even realer, right? You got a man who puts paint where it ain't and another man who wants to clean that paint up and act like it never existed. Goldtoes being the paint guy, right? And the other guy wants to erase the legacy that Goldtoes has put out there for decades. And let's just totally be honest here. Without Toes, this Norteno rap thing that we call the Norteno rap game would never even be established to the heights it is right now if it wasn't for Goldtoes, his contacts, and the way he moves, his hustle, right? That he continues to do. Now, I have to be the voice of the voiceless because at this point, we have not heard Goldtoes' side of the story. He's not putting anything out there. He's doing the right thing. The right thing being brushing his shoulders off like a Jay-Z song. See, when you have people that are not on your level, that are trying to tear you down, they're never going to reach that peak to tear that top floor down. We all know that Goldtoes resides up in a motherfucking mansion, and if not, he's up in his office real tall in a Houston building, and it's hard for people to get up there to tear that down. When you build yourself up to heights and you've established your name in the game, there's always going to be people that troll you, that hate you, that want to tear you down for this reason or that. Now, this guy BFD has put out several reasons why he does not like Goldtoes or why there's some type of discrepancy between their relationship. Now, when BFD did get out, he was rocking GT Digital. That's a fact. Whether he was signed to GT Digital, up under GT Digital, which of course is owned and the CEO is Goldtoes, right? Whether he was signed, I'm not too sure, but I do know that he was rocking, that he was face to face. He was in the same room. He was in the same vicinity as Goldtoes. And if he had these issues with the past relationship of Goldtoes and SPM, then why didn't he voice it right there? Why didn't he get off where he was mad at? Why didn't he say, hey, bro, what's up? He could have questioned it like, hey, why were you fucking with that dude? Look, here's the thing. If you know the history of Goldtoes, which I do, right? Because I've listened to his music since 17 Reasons and even before that. If you know the history of Goldtoes, you know that he did have association with Dope House Records. When he was on the run, he fucking wiggled out there with SPM out there in Houston, man, and got put on to some more advantages and some more raza and some more music, right? When SPM did catch his case, when he was convicted, Goldtoes from that point on pushed away from SPM and had zero to do with them. He might have had interaction with the family. He might have had interaction with other people like Looney Cole. I mean, what's his name? Lucci Coleone, Luciano, Baby Bash, all these artists that were once part of Dope House Records. He might have had some type of correspondence with them, right? And most of those artists now are on GT Digital. They are no longer on Dope House. They left Dope House and now are up under GT Digital. But that doesn't mean he was supporting or putting out albums or representing SPM. In fact, I seen Goldtoes myself on American Cholo podcast as well as the Few Community podcast. And when he was asked a question about SPM, he said he had nothing to say. He's going to let that man get out and speak for himself, which is the right thing to do. He doesn't want to fucking kick a man when he's down. He doesn't want to lift a man up. He says, let that man be his own man. He did the crime. He's doing the time. Let him say his story. Why is Goldtoes even associated or affiliated with that man's story? He had zero to do with it because they had past affiliations. You know, you got rappers, big time rappers like Sauce Waka, who just came out on a brand new album with SPM. And you don't see anyone holding them accountable for that or saying anything bad. If not, they're bumping it in the cuts, right? Goldtoes had no association or affiliation with that album. It was not produced or put out by GT Digital, yet people are still utilizing that as a source or a reasoning for the hatred that's being displayed continuously by guys like BFD and the other people on that No Paperwork podcast. Look, I support every homeboy doing their thing. I'm an ex-Norteno, but I support every Norteno doing his push and saying what he has to say. That's a fact. But it seems like a lot of this hatred and a lot of this animosity stems from a few different things, according to BFD. So let's break the timeline down and get to it and figure out just what it is, right? The first time I heard BFD say something in the negative about Goldtoes was on a song where he felt some type of way because Goldtoes was associating or affiliating with guys from Southern California. Now, I hate to burst the bubble, man, but there's a lot of other guys that were doing that behind the scenes too. I distinctly remember seeing some text messages between Swifty Blue and several dudes from up north, as well as Lefty Gunplay and dudes from up north like Rico Too Smooth and other guys. So that's been happening. Whether it was gang banging and disrespecting each other on the internet, there was some type of interaction there. For you to even have that be able to slide in his DMs or be following him or have his number says a lot, right? But see, Goldtoes didn't go down there to create animosity between North and South. That's already been established and created. He went down there to do business, to make money, to show and set a foundation for the Norteno movement and say they will pull up. He wasn't scared to pull up and show love and respect, and he did it in a respectful fashion. Now, I believe people felt some type of way because they are saying, who is he to be the face of the Norteno movement? He never claimed to be. He was just another homie with association with a lot of real ones that went down there by himself, not scared, pulled up, sat down at a podcast with respect and treated others like they were treating him. You got to say that's savage. You got to say that's a respectful thing to do. That's what he did, and he was the first one to do it. Okay. Subsequently, there's been other people to pull out to Southern California, but no one ever pulled up to a podcast with Southern affiliation and sat down comfortably and respectfully and had a good conversation, right? Didn't give up game on the Norteno movement, didn't talk about past crimes, didn't do any of that, but talked about music, the industry, and movies. Speaking of movies, that's the next thing I wanted to talk about. You know, let me show you guys something real quick.
Is this SPM? Nope. This is It's Pablo Time, an actor that resembles SPM in a remarkable fashion. This is him playing SPM at a concert sponsored by Dope House. This is not SPM.
That is not South Park Mexican. That is not the South Park I'll let you guys finish it. It ends with right? That's not him. That is an actor called It's Pablo Time, who actually was going to play SPM in a miniseries movie that was being produced and put out based upon Goldtoes' life, right? If you remember about 3-4 years ago, man, I did a video called 17 Reasons. And that was, from what I had heard from some inside information, right? That was supposed to be the title or the name of this documentary or this miniseries based upon Goldtoes' life that he was putting out there. You know, it's crazy when you have achieved to a certain point where you can make a movie about yourself because you have lived that life. Toes can say he has lived that life and he continues to live that life, establishing, laying down foundations, and putting on for the Northern Raza, the Southern Raza, and all Raza, right? And brothers and everybody, man. People fuck with him heavy in the game. Real ones like Burner, like Cash Money Lavish D, you know what I'm saying? Like Lil Flip. These are all GT digital artists, you know what I'm saying? And so many, and so on and so forth. You know, people like JT the Bigger Figure, Messi Marv, San Quinn, all these guys in the game that have been fucking with Julio Goldtoes Sanchez for years. And that is the reason why he has established so much and is able to make a movie based upon himself. Now, does SPM play a part in that movie? A small snippet of that movie was released. And this guy, It's Pablo Time, who resembles SPM, he has an uncanny resemblance to SPM. I mean, dead on, right? This guy actually was playing a part. Now, BFD recently has said that Goldtoes was playing a part in the movie with this guy. Well, of course, it was a movie about Goldtoes, and it would be unrighteous to do a movie without showing that interaction with SPM. He's not promoting him. He's not saying, hey, man, this is the homie, let's put him in the movie. He's saying this is a part of my life, and this dude was an influence in that part of that life for that amount of time before he got weird. I'm sure it would have talked about the weird charges and all that, but that's his movie. If anything, all BFD has done now is re-sparked and reflamed this movie to get back in production. I told you guys a long time ago, Goldtoes was doing some, and he continues to do it behind the scenes. Now, for those of you that are saying, oh, that is SPM, that's not. He's an actor called It's Pablo Time. In fact, he played at a concert recently, man, about a year back, as he played the character of SPM with a hood on his head. They took the hood off his head, and it was basically a Dope House Records sponsored concert, and he played the part and sang several of SPM songs for the fans and whatever, and they got a big thrill out of it. Instead of using, you know, that whatever they used, the image like they did of Tupac and all that, the 3D image, they used a real person that he's a lookalike, okay? So no, Goldtoes was not sitting down visiting an SPM. He was not doing any of that. That was a snippet of a movie that he had upcoming. But a lot of people are utilizing that to hate him. The facts are this. These are the straight up facts. The first time BFD, the brother BFD, said that he was mad at Goldtoes was over money, right? Saying that Goldtoes had did him dirty on some money. He was disgruntled about that. That's understandable. If motherfucker gets you for money, it doesn't matter who they are, you're going to feel some type of way. Ring. You could call him. You could pull up on him. You've been to the office. You know where he stays. You can say it's a homie, right? When it's red on red, when it's north on north, you literally call him, be like, hey, bro, I'm feeling this type of way. Can you show me the contracts, the paperwork? Now, if he refuses to do that, then you get off where you're mad at, or you take it a different route legally. However you want to do it, man. It's the music industry, and I'm not privy to exactly what goes on behind the scenes with contracts, but I do know that at some point, if you feel your money ain't right, then the shit ain't tight, then you might have to just fight. And that's just real, right? So that was the first reasoning for saying Goldtoes was whatever. Then the second reasoning was because he went down to Southern California and associated and affiliated with Southsiders like Baldacci and several others. But recently, a Sacramento staple, a Sacramento Norteno, has just went to Southern California, did a few push-ups and burpees, a few pull-ups, curls, and played some handball with some Southsiders, right? And it's all love. It's like, oh, he's the only one ever to do that. He's the realest one, man. He went down there on his foes, man. He went down. No. Toes Ben did that. He Ben did that. You want to know the only difference, right? And I give respect to Thumps for going down there and doing it. Not a lot of motherfuckers have the heart or the cora to do that shit. They don't got balls, right? They ain't pulling up to Southern California being who they are. I've done it with respect, right? When I went to the Cholo Trucker fight, you think I wasn't peeping my scene? I was peeping my scene. I wasn't gangbanging or representing anything. But at the same time, everybody knew what my past affiliations were and who I was. I didn't go down there denying my name, right? I was Gunners Collective, and that's just who I was, right? Woo! I got out of there with my head, right? Luckily. But I'm going to shrink it, but I'm going to tell you guys right now, Thumps went down there, an active Norteno, allegedly. I say allegedly not to disrespect, but because, you know, for content purposes as well as law purposes, right? So he went down there legitimately, allegedly as an active Norteno, did his little workout thing right there in Santa Monica, Muscle Beach, played some handball with a Southsider, did his thing. And that's respectable. The difference between him and Toes was Toes went down there on podcasts, try to put people on, signing people to GT Digital, pushing that envelope for the people trying to get money. Let's get money together. Like Burner says, man, make money with me, get money with me, right? He was trying to help people get money with them and put people on. And when he left, he kept it as respectful and didn't burn any of those bridges. You know, he kept it very G, very old school, very respectful. Whereas in Thumps, on the other hand, man, and no disrespect towards him, but this is just facts, went back to the No Paperwork podcast and started calling him all kinds of derogatory terms towards Southsiders that I don't like to utilize on my channel because I got a gang of Southern homeboys that be feeling some type of way, right? But that's just the truth of the matter. Uncalled for. Why disrespect after the fact? If you feel that way, you feel that way all the time, 24/7. You don't feel that way when you're comfortable in one of these nice fucking chairs, podcasting chairs. You feel that way right there doing burpees, period, during the handball game. So that right there, I believe, stems a lot of this hatred towards Toes, like, because people put out there, because people got eyes and ears and said, hey, Toes Ben did that, bro, respectfully. Nah. Fuck what he's going through. He didn't do it the way we wanted him to do it. Well, what way do you want him to do it? In a disrespectful way? Look, the Norteños are pushing right now. They're starting to slowly move into the industry in a big way, man. And that's a great thing. That's a beautiful thing. But when you disrespect, when you take advantage of the situation, all you're doing is setting your people up for failure. Now the next people are not going to be embraced and able to go down there and wiggle as smooth as you may have been able to, right? Because you're burning bridges and you're fucking shit off. And motherfuckers out there down south, man, if they show you respect and you don't reciprocate that, they'll hit you with a motherfucking demo tape. They'll lay a demo down. So now it's dangerous for any homeboys going down there, any Norteños going down there. Now you really got to keep your head on swivel based upon the actions that were performed by Thumps. That's just the truth, right? So that is a reason why Goldtoes is being hated. And now the newest one. So it's not the money. First it was the money. Then it was the fucking associating with Southsiders, which we just seen Thumper did the same exact thing. So I don't see what the difference is, right? And Toes did it with respect. The third thing now is SPM. Motherfuckers got to grasp at straws and utilize the SPM thing. Now, I always said in videos of past that this was going to come back and bite Toes in the ass. Not that he still deals with SPM, not that he represents or he supports SPM, not at all. But the fact that having any association with that cat is detrimental to your motherfucking brand and to you. The cold part is you got Baby Bash who still supports him, and he's out there wiggling in LA. He's out there in Northern California. Baby, I'm back again. You know what I mean? He's doing his thing. Sugar, how you get so fly, right? And ain't no one saying nothing. You got other rappers that support this dude, and ain't no one saying nothing. But all of a sudden, people have a problem with Goldtoes associated with SPM way back in the past before this dude ever became a weirdo. I don't get it. Everything I've seen when Toes has been asked about SPM, it's always been, let that man speak for himself. I ain't got nothing to say for that man. I know people want to see him step on him. They want to see him talk shit about him. That's what they want. That's what they feel he needs to do. I don't. I feel he's doing the things the way he's supposed to do. See, that's the way a real motherfucker rocks. Saying none of my business, bro. That's that man. Let that man live on his rock, right? Let that man sleep in his bed. I ain't sleeping with him, right? And that's just the truth. So what is it? What is this beef with Goldtoes? Is it the fact that Goldtoes is a foundation for the Norteno movement as far as musically, and people want that throne? Heavy is the head that wears the crown. That's just the truth, right? And the way I'm looking at it is I'm seeing a lot of people speak on it, and everybody got an opinion. But they don't have that opinion when they're rocking on the north side. This is how we ride, produced by Goldtoes. Don't no one have a problem with that. Don't no one have a problem with the 17 Reasons album. Don't no one or ain't no one had a problem with Goldtoes until we went and showed Southern California some love. But isn't that what everyone else is doing now? Man, usually the person who does it first gets all the babas. They get all the drool. They get all the hatred, right? And that's what's happening in this case, man. So what is it? I don't know if it's the money, if it's the fact that he was down there fraternizing with Southsiders, which I don't see no problem with it. Business is business no matter who you do business with. Is it a foregone conclusion that North and South will never come together and make music or do concerts or do things together? Probably not. They probably will eventually. And someone who laid the concrete and the foundation down for that is probably not going to get the flowers he deserves. But right here on Gunners Collective TV, I'm going to say Goldtoes been done that. I'm going to say Thumps created and continued the legacy that Goldtoes did going down south and doing it. And even myself going to Southern California and being embraced, man, and showed love, right? It's all respect. You never heard me come back in disrespect. You never heard Goldtoes come back in disrespect. You did hear the cat come back in disrespect. Unfortunately, man, for him, I don't know if he was trying to just act cool with the homies and do his thing, but that's the way it went down. Look, no disrespect to the Norteños, man. Keep rocking. Keep doing your thing. Keep building. But don't tear a legend like motherfucking Goldtoes down to do it. You don't need that. You can get money together and make better music, harmony, and money together rather than tearing each other down. See, that's the problem with the raza. We're too busy trying to tear each other down instead of building each other up. You know, it's like me with the haters. They're consistently hating on me, but they look just like me. They're brown people just hating and hating and hating. Meanwhile, everyone else is get money with me, get money with me. That's just what it is. Anyways, I kind of wanted to break it down because I see it's been going down. Look, if you guys want to get some real game on the situation, some in-depth game, go to that channel, Cali Code. Okay, that's actually my primo, Cali Code, and he dropped some real jewels, some real game concerning this situation. So go support, go tap in with Cali Code, man. Go figure out for yourself just what it is, because there's a lot of hatred. And if you notice one thing that I noticed, Toes ain't said nothing. He ain't spoke up on it. He ain't done nothing. So those who took that small little movie clip of a part of his life and are mad because SPM was in it, that's actually an actor, not the real SPM playing him. And first and foremost, how can you tell a story about Goldtoes and how he ended up in Houston, Texas with GT Digits and all that if that's not included? You can't. You just can't. Let me know what you guys think. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive, struggle, and strive for what I truly believe in, and that's the betterment of all people, man. You know, hey, stop hating. You don't even got to start congratulating if you don't want to, but just stop hating. This video is sponsored by Bottle Liquors out there in Turlock, California. If you're ever in the area, go get you something cold to drink, something icy cold. Bang, bang.